Assalamualaikum and a very good day. In Malaysia, estate planning has become a serious issue. A clear example is the case of the late Tan Sri Dr. Jamaluddin Jargis, who passed away in 2015. His estate, worth about 2.1 billion, became the subject of a long legal dispute between his widow, his 4 children, and his elderly mother. The case was filed in 2018 and dragged on for years, only reaching a settlement in 2025. This shows how, without proper planning, even a wealthy and respected individual's assets can lead to family conflict, stress, and delays in distribution. So, what is exactly estate planning? It is a legal, effective arrangement for managing and distributing a person's estate according to both Sharia and civil law. Proper planning ensures that the instructions in a will are carried out smoothly, protecting loved ones and avoiding disputes. So in this presentation, we will explore the components of estate planning, its importance, and the risk if it is neglected.
Now, I'll continue with first part, which is conventional will. Conventional will is a legal document written by a person to state how their assets, property, and belonging should be distributed after death. Regarding this topic, there were 3 current issues I would like to share. First, low uptake of will writing. The number of Malaysians who actually write a will is still very low. Studies show that less than 40% workers have a will, and may still think wills are only for the wealthy. This low uptake creates a big risk of unclaimed or frozen assets. Second point is lack of awareness and knowledge. Many people lack a proper understanding of what a will really involves. They are unsure about a legal process, the costs, and the benefits. This lack of knowledge does not only create confusion, but it also negatively affects their attitude and confidence. Some even feel a stigma or pressure from others, and they perceive that processes are more difficult and costly than it actually is. And lastly, perceived costs. Many assume that preparing a will is expensive. In reality, the cost depends on how complicated the assets are, but this perception discourages especially middle and lower income individuals from writing one. Now, we will move to the next part, which is importance of making will. Actually, by making will, it helps protect your asset and ensure your loved one is financially secure. It also makes the distribution process faster and smoother to avoid legal procedures. By writing a will, you can appoint trusted people as executor, trustee, or guardian to manage your estate. Leave instruction for your funeral arrangement, reduce confusion and quarrel to prevent family dispute over property, and also leave personal leave to your loved one. However, for a person doesn't make a will, their asset will be distributed according to the law, not their personal wishes. This may benefit people that they never intended. The process can also take a long time with assets frozen while waiting for approval. And most importantly, the absence of a will often leads to conflict and quarrel among family members.
A wasiat or an Islamic will is essential in estate distribution. It provides flexibility, allowing distribution of estate as you wish. You can include and help non-Muslim friends, relatives, charity, and even helps prevent family disputes. What happens if you don't have a wasiat? Firstly, your estate will follow fara'id, which can then cause family disputes and even legal battles. Non-Muslim friends or family may be excluded. Your estate might not reflect your wishes, and worse, without a clear will, you could unintentionally violate Islamic laws. Issues that are happening today are such as many Muslims still think fara'id is enough and skip writing a wasiat. But when personal wishes aren't written down, loved ones feel ignored. Also, when more than 1/3 of the estate is given to non-fara'id heirs, it causes disputes. Even distribution to non-Muslim beneficiaries, which are allowed within limits, often get challenged by heirs.
Harta pencarian refer to property acquired by a husband and wife during the subsistence of a valid marriage, whether through direct or indirect contribution. Under harta pencarian, hibah during or before marriage as well as gift received by inheritance classified as properties not deemed. And to clear the confusion about EPF contribution, Fatwa Majlis Kebangsaan has declared that it is not harta pencarian but rather a fara'id property. The main objective here is to highlight the current issues. The first major issue concerns uncertainty in spouses' right to estate distribution. When a husband or wife passes away, the surviving spouse often faces difficulty in claiming their rightful share, primarily because the assets were never clearly documented as harta pencarian. Secondly, there is a lack of recognition of non-financial contributions. While financial input is usually acknowledged, the value of domestic roles such as raising children or providing emotional support tends to be overlooked. We also see challenges in inheritance rights across different legal systems. For example, converts or families with different religions may face complications due to overlapping civil and Sharia laws. Now, moving on to the importance. Acknowledging harta pencarian helps protect the rights of both spouses fairly. It promotes justice, recognize non-financial contribution, and provide peace of mind in the event of divorce and deaths. It also expedites the inheritance process and avoids unnecessary legal costs. However, there are risks. Dispute may arise if contributions are unclear or undocumented. There is also risk of unfair claims if one spouse denies the other's role. Without proper declaration, the process can become lengthy and costly.
Moving on to trust. A trust is a legal arrangement where a person called the settlor, for example, a husband, transfer their assets such as money, property, or investment to another party known as a trustee. The trustee can be an individual or an institution and is responsible for managing this asset for the benefit of the beneficiaries, often the settlor's wife or children. The current issue with trust and estates are delays in probate. Heir must obtain a grant of probate or a letter of administration. The process can take 6 months to several years depending on estate size, number of heir, and disputes. Second is unclear rights of certain beneficiaries. By law, only spouse, legitimate children, and parents are recognized as heir. Third is differences between Sharia and civil law. Muslim follow Sharia law, Faraid, Hibah, Wasiat, while non-Muslim follow civil law. The risks are: first, delays, asset remain frozen, leaving dependent without immediate support. Second is exclusion. Certain heirs, example stepchildren, partners may be left out. Third is conflicts. Overlaps in law and unclear rights often lead to disputes and legal battles. The importance of estate planning are security, ensures heir receive timely financial support for living expenses, education, and healthcare. Second is protection, safeguards vulnerable dependents who may not be recognized by law. Third is clarity, reduces disputes, avoid delays, and ensures smooth distribution of assets.
That is NATASYA. Next I will talk about Faraid, which is the Islamic law that determines how a Muslim's property is divided among heirs after death. Faraid is very important because it ensures religious compliance, distributive justice, and protects the rights of vulnerable heirs like spouse, children, and parents. However, there are also risks if Faraid is not properly managed. These include family disputes, assets remaining idle such as unclaimed cash or unused property, and higher legal costs due to the court backlogs. Currently, there are several key issues in Malaysia. Firstly, there is a large amount of frozen or unclaimed estate, estimated at 65 to 19 billion ringgit. Secondly, delays and operational problems in Sharia court often slow down the distribution process due to the incomplete documents and trusting heirs. Lastly, there is also public awareness about Faraid and estate planning, which leads to disputes and wrongful exclusions.
Hibah refers to the transfer of property ownership free of charge during one lifetime. Currently, there are several issues related to hibah. First, the low awareness. Many people still rely solely on Faraid or Wasiat and do not understand the benefit of hibah. Second, legal disputes often occur when hibah documents are not properly drafted or registered, leading to the challenges in court. Third, family conflict may arise when hibah is perceived as unfair or when the terms are unclear. Despite this issue, hibah is very important. It complements wasiat because it has no one-third limit and is effective immediately. It is also encouraged in Islam as a sunnah, strengthen family bond, prevent inheritance dispute, and provide flexibility in estate planning. However, hibah also carries risk. If not properly documented, dispute can happen. Donor may later regret giving away asset. Hibah trust may be mismanaged, and sometimes heirs may feel they are treated unfairly. In summary, hibah is a valuable but sensitive tool in Islamic estate planning.
Public awareness simply means how much people now understand and care about financial planning. In personal finance, it's covered things like estate planning, retirement, insurance, debt management, and saving. Public awareness in financial planning is still low, and this leads to three main issues. Low retirement preparedness. Many underestimate how much they need after retirement. For example, most EPF contributors don't have enough savings to last more than 5 years. Insurance protection gap. Families are underinsured, leaving them financially exposed in case of death, disability, or illness. Debt mismanagement. Awareness about responsible borrowing is weak. Many people fall into credit debt, personal loan, or buy now, pay later tricks. Why is public awareness important? First, it educates individuals. People learn how to manage their money and plan ahead. Second, it encourages action. For example, preparing will, managing debt, or investing early. Third is it reduces financial problems such as dispute, bankruptcy, or unplanned expenses. Fourth is protect family by making sure dependents are financially secure. And lastly, it supports economic stability because when more people plan ahead, the nation faces fewer financial burden. Even though awareness is improving, there are still risks and challenges. First, misinformation. Some people rely on unqualified advice. Second, false security, attending financial talk but not taking real action. Third, accessibility. Many think financial planning service are too costly or complicated. Fourth, cultural resistance. In some families, talking about money or debt is still taboo. Five, fraud risk. Low awareness make people vulnerable to unethical or unnecessary planning.
There are a few recommendations that we can apply, where estate planning is important for everyone, not just the elderly. By starting early, we can protect our assets, prepare for unexpected events, and provide security for our loved ones. Using legal tools such as wills, trust, or hibah ensures that our wealth is distributed clearly and fairly, avoiding family disputes in the future. Open communication with family members is also important to promote harmony and help them understand our wishes. Finally, asset plans should be reviewed regularly so they remain relevant as life circumstances change. With these steps, we can achieve peace of mind and long-term financial security for the people we care about the most.
In conclusion, estate planning is more than just paperwork. It's an act of responsibility and care for our family and future generations. In Malaysia, many estates remain frozen or disputed due to the lack of proper planning, showing why this step is so important. By starting early, we can protect our wealth, prevent family conflicts, and reduce financial hardship for our dependents. Legal tools such as wills, trust, and hibah ensure assets are distributed fairly, while open communication builds trust and unity. Regularly viewing our plans keeps them relevant. Estate planning gives peace of mind, security, and lasting stability for our loved ones. Thank you. That is from my group.